Welcome back everyone to another Clive Undying video. Today we are going to explore the content that was excluded and never made it into the game. Join me as we dive deep into the cut content of Clive Undying. First up is one of the more infamous exclusions of the game. It included 7 unique spells that were left behind. As you can see, there's one spell missing. That's actually the Phoenix that was moved to the weapon wheel. Speaking with lead designer Delcamp Seifert, to be referred to as Ruakana in the latter part of the video, he explained that the team had many ideas for spells, but due to time constraints and feature bloat, they had to scale back. There was hope that some of these spells would have been introduced in multiplayer or through an expansion pack, but as we all know, this never happened. First up is Shala's Vortex. It protects you from magical attacks such as lightning and ectoplasm, and is extremely similar to Shield. Here is the effect from behind. The devs excluded the 3 indicators you can see at the bottom, each representing how audible and visible Patrick is. The blue circle indicates how light the area around Patrick is, which is expanded by the usage of the lantern and diminished by standing in a shadow. The yellow circle represents movement, indicating how loud you are when you move. Finally, the green circle represents how loud the firing of your weapons and spells is. Using Phase, the monks are unable to detect us at a distance but can still hear Patrick. Using Phase and Sneak, I can get closer to the monks without them noticing me. Using Phase together with the Incantation of Silence lets me get up to the monks completely, easily being able to sneak past them if I wish to do so. There was also an unused sound for obtaining the Incantation of Silence.
An Incantation of Silence. This could be quite useful.
Here are the effects from behind. Furthermore, the Incantation of Silence completely silences the noise made by most spells and weapons, as indicated by the green circle. Ward is a spell that shoots a ward that sticks to the ground and pulls enemies into it, dealing high damage. If ward is fired at the ball, it creates a cyst that explodes upon contact. This ability is the same one that Bethany uses when you fight her. Firefly is used as a locator for enemies. According to Ruakana, this ability would have been useful for exposing campers in the scrapped multiplayer mode. Furthermore, spells like Ectoplasm and Skullstorm will automatically be shot towards the highlighted enemy, which we would describe in modern terms as an aimbot. Mindshatter makes the enemies dazed, making them unable to act properly. This is the same spell that is cast by abbots and inhabitants. And finally, there's PowerWord. After Patrick draws a rune, the spell damages all visible enemies, although a lot of mana is drained. The Ireland village was the second biggest exclusion after multiplayer. According to Ruakana, it was supposed to be a village overtaken by the Trisanti that you would have to clear out. However, the scope of the game became too large, so it was one of the major sections they chose to remove. The footage you see here is from a custom map and was not created by the original developers, just to give you an idea on how it could have looked. Full credit goes to its creator, Hollow. In similar fashion, the maps Manor Inner Courtyard and Manor Inner Courtyard Night that I've already showcased in my top 10 things you didn't know about Clive's Undying video were also cut content. The only difference is that Manor Inner Courtyard is actually a playable map that exists in the game files. Staying on the topic of maps, the original entrance to the Eternal Autumn was supposed to be a transition involving the exploration of a cave, which came to be dubbed the Neolithic Caves. This can be seen in one of the older drawings of the Undying loading screen map. This is of course prior to the exclusion of the Neolithic Caves. As you traverse deeper, it would warp the player to the Eternal Autumn. According to Ruakana, as the overall content grew larger than planned, especially with the catacombs and the terrain around the monastery, they had to exclude this map. In the end, it was a minor change, and the map ended up being used as the intro to the Eternal Autumn after you have defeated Aaron. Ruakana described multiplayer as the biggest exclusion of the game. The PvP was going to be based around ancient ruins, the castles of Ireland, the village, etc. Here's me and my friend doing some player versus player action, and well, just watch. Several ideas for lightning was cut short. One such functionality that was excluded was a continuous stream of lightning, similar to that of Palpatine from Star Wars. If you've been paying attention to the video, you would have noticed two unused animations. One of them is the shockwave that emits from the Gelsiabar stone when used to push back enemies. The other is the idle twirl of the Gelsiabar stone, which really looks awesome in my opinion. On the topic of unused animations, there is also the excluded Scythe eating animation. If you run out of mana whilst in Berserk mode, the Scythe will begin to shake violently. This is because the Scythe demands a blood sacrifice, and if you fail to find an enemy in time, it will inflict damage to Patrick himself. According to Ruakana, it was cut because it never felt right. If you do manage to find an enemy in time, it will heal you like normal and restore 50 of your mana. This is just a showcase how the original spell and weapon wheels were supposed to look like, provided everything got shipped. It took a lot of piecing together based on old screenshots, but this is what they intended the wheels to look like. As you saw, dynamite was on the wheel and Scythe and shotgun switched places among a lot of other things. Grab was a command that would have let you pick up certain items, such as the pots as shown in the video. As the actual purpose remains up to speculation, one can assume that you could have potentially built some sort of cover with the pots and other items. ThrowWeapon lets you throw your guns to the ground, which would have let another player pick up said weapon. According to Ruakana, the spawn of the Hound was a punishment for using the stone's powers too much. Due to issues with pathfinding, geometry issues and general AI for a monster that could have appeared anywhere, this idea was scrapped. However, this is still mentioned in the journal when reading about the stone. This is the same Hound that spawns to aid you in your fight against Ambrose, probably agitated from Ambrose abusing the stone's powers. Screenshots of where you saved inside of the game were replaced with generic images of the manor, eternal autumn, etc. If you ask me, I think that this looks a lot better and lets you keep track easier. There were also several unused sounds. One of these were the dynamite's lighting fuse. Dynamite exploding in shallow water. As well as scry now instead of the normal ones. Several unused in-game voice lines were left behind. These voice lines can only be accessible through the means of console commands. The first one is the distressed butler Easter egg.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. I won't make it through the night. Who's in there? I must hide here.
The dialogue was probably meant to serve as a hint to help you find this Easter egg, which is probably why I never found it until some 10 years later after I first played this game. I won't show the entire Easter egg here, but if you're interested, check out my Easter egg video. This one is a remark about something Bethany didn't want to be sent. However, reading the note left behind does not give any clue as to what that could have been.
Looks like Bethany didn't want this to be sent. What the hell?
The what the hell remark is probably Patrick's reaction to seeing Bethany's handmaiden appear. This one probably was left out by mistake. They simply forgot to set the trigger for the painting correctly.
Fan of the Greek tragedies, I see.
Other than that, there were also some really awesome dialogue files that were left behind that I wanted to share. I think the voice sounds quite familiar to you guys.
This is Oneros. Kaisinger found the cursed city. The Queen of Shadows hides her deepest secrets behind the door of the moon. I think I can translate this. Be ever vigilant, or the Undying King will walk the earth once again.
But now you might be wondering, but QTS, if this was all content that were excluded, how are you showing this to us? And the answer to that is Renewal, which is a modernized Undying where mods have added a lot of excluded content. So if you are planning on playing the game soon, I do recommend to try out the modernized version of Undying for yourself. As I still hopefully have your attention, I would also like to encourage you to join our Discord to help our community grow. Both the link to Renewal and our Discord will be in the description below. That's all I have to share for this time. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you could take a few seconds of your time to give this video a thumbs up, I'd greatly appreciate it. Shout out to lead designer Delicamp Roakana Seifert and Lam for their expertise and help with this video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you soon.